In this video we're diving into the world of hidden treasures as we explore the absolute most expensive and ultra-rare U.S. state quarters, specifically focusing on the legendary 2004 Wisconsin extra leaf quarter that is taking the numismatic world by storm because these seemingly ordinary coins could be worth thousands or even millions of dollars today, and you might have one sitting in your pocket right now. Imagine this: you are walking around with a fortune in your pocket, a life-changing amount of money that could pay off your mortgage, buy you a new car, or even fund your retirement, all hidden in the form of a basic 25-cent piece that you were about to use to buy a soda or toss into a toll booth. In fact, however, instead of spending it, you need to stop what you are doing, raid your piggy banks, scour your couch cushions. Also, dig through those old jars of loose change because we are about to reveal the secrets that could turn you into a numismatic billionaire overnight. Basically, simply put, we are not just talking about pocket change. Here we are talking about historical masterpieces, errors that slipped through the cracks of the United States Mint and found their way into general circulation, waiting for a sharp-eyed hunter, such as you, to discover them and claim your jackpot. The stakes have never been higher. To be fair, basically also the fear of missing out is real because everyday people are unknowingly spending these holy grails of coin collecting, tossing away astronomical value because they simply didn't know what to look for. However, after watching this video, you will be armed with the knowledge to spot these treasures and secure your financial future. Honestly, first up we have to talk about the absolute king of modern era coins, the coin that headlines this entire treasure hunt, the 2004 Wisconsin extra leaf quarter, a coin that has rewritten the rulebook on modern collecting and sent thousands of people into a frenzy of searching. This coin is a true anomaly, a mystery that has baffled experts and delighted collectors for nearly 2 decades. Also, it all starts with the design on the reverse of the coin, which features a cow, a wheel of cheese, also an ear of corn. Basically, however, on a select few of these coins minted in Denver, something shocking appears: an extra leaf on the ear of corn that simply should not be there. There are 2 distinct varieties of this incredible error, the high leaf and the low leaf, and both of them are tickets to a payday that is absolutely unimaginable for a coin you can find in circulation. Simply put, let's start with the high leaf variety, where you can see a distinct sharp leaf protruding from the top left of the corn husk, reaching up towards the cheese wheel, a detail that is so clear and prominent that it looks such as it was carved by hand. Also, some theories suggest that it might have been a deliberate attack by a rogue mint employee, adding a layer of intrigue and scandal to this already valuable coin. If you look closely, if you find a 2004 Wisconsin quarter with this high leaf error, do not clean it, do not rub it. Also, for the love of money, do not spend it, because even in circulated condition, these coins are selling for hundreds of dollars. Simply put, basically, also, if you manage to find one in pristine uncirculated condition, perhaps from a mint set, or a bankroll that has been sitting unopened for years, you are looking at a coin that has sold for over $6,000 at auction, a return on investment that is practically infinite compared to its 25-cent face value. But the story doesn't end there, because the low-leaf variety is just as spectacular and perhaps even more elusive, featuring that same extra leaf, but positioned lower on the corn husk, curving down into the cheese wheel in a way that creates a distinct crescent shape that sets it apart from its high-leaf counterpart. Basically, simply put, the low-leaf Wisconsin quarter is a masterpiece of modern error, coining a holy grail that collectors are desperate to get their hands on. Also, prices for this variety have skyrocketed in recent years as more and more people realize just how rare these coins truly are. If you look closely, we have seen low-leaf examples in high grades, specifically those graded by PCGS or NGC as MS67, fetch prices that would make your jaw drop, commanding thousands of dollars and creating a frenzy every time one crosses the auction block. You need to look closely at the mint mark on the obverse right next to George Washington's ponytail. Basically, if you look closely, also make sure it is a D for Denver, because these errors are exclusive to the Denver Mint. Also, if you have a Philadelphia coin, you are out of luck for this specific error. If you look closely, however, if you see that D and you flip it over to see that extra leaf, you have just won the lottery without ever buying a ticket. Imagine the feeling of spotting that extra leaf, the rush of adrenaline, the chills running down your spine as you realize that you are holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand, a secret that only you know until you decide to cash it in. If you look closely, simply put. However, we are just scratching the surface of the state quarter errors that could make you rich, because the 2004 Wisconsin coin is not the only treasure hiding in your change jar. In fact, secondly, we have to talk about the 1999 Delaware Spitting Horse quarter, a coin that kicked off the state quarter craze with a bang and remains one of the most sought-after errors in the entire series. If you look closely on the reverse of this coin, which features Caesar Rodney on horseback, there is a distinct die crack that runs from the horse's mouth down to the rim of the coin. In fact, this makes it look such as the horse is spitting, a visual oddity that is both hilarious and incredibly valuable. Simply put, this is known as a die crack error, caused when the die used to strike the coin begins to break apart under the immense pressure of the minting process, leaving a raised line on the surface of the coin that collectors go absolutely wild for. In fact, while a standard 1999 Delaware quarter is worth exactly 25 cents, a spitting horse error can fetch hundreds of dollars depending on the condition. Honestly, also, if you find one with strong luster and minimal scratches, you are looking at a coin that is highly liquid and easy to sell to eager collectors who are building complete sets of state quarter errors. You need to check your 1999 quarters. Immediately look specifically for that line extending from the mouth. Also, if you see it, put that coin in a protective holder instantly, because you have just found a piece of numismatic history. In fact, thirdly, we move to the 2005 Minnesota quarter, a coin that hides a secret in the forest. On its reverse design, a double die error that creates the appearance of an extra tree or extra spruce needles in the background. In fact, this is a classic double die error where the hubbing process caused a misalignment that resulted in a duplication of the design elements. Honestly, also on the Minnesota quarter, this manifests as a ghostly extra tree standing right next to the main tree on the right side of the design. This error is subtle. Basically, also, you might need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to see it clearly. However, do not let that discourage you, because the rewards for finding this coin are astronomical. Basically, there are dozens of different varieties of the Minnesota double die, some more dramatic than others. In fact, however, all of them carry a premium over face value. If you look closely, also the most severe examples where the extra tree is bold and unmistakable can sell for hundreds of dollars in high grades. Imagine sifting through a roll of quarters you got from the bank and spotting that extra tree, realizing that you have just found a hidden gem that everyone else overlooked, a secret treasure that was hiding in plain sight in a forest of copper and nickel. If you look closely, fourthly, we have the 2005 Kansas and God We Rust quarter, an error that is as famous for its message as it is for its value, caused by a grease-filled die that obstructed the letter T in the word T or USD on the obverse of the coin. To be fair, when grease and debris build up in the recesses of the coin die, it can prevent the metal from flowing into the lettering, causing characters to disappear or appear faint. Simply put, also in the case of the Kansas quarter, this resulted in the motto reading INGODWE, RUST instead of INGODWET, RUST, a poetic and slightly humorous mistake that has captivated collectors for years. This is a strike error. Also, while it is technically a common type of defect, the placement and the resulting word change make it one of the most desirable errors in the state quarter series. You can find these in your pocket change right now. Simply put, also, while they might not make you a billionaire overnight, they are easily worth $20 to $50 or more in good condition, which is a truly massive return on a 25-cent investment. It is the kind of coin that makes for a great story and a great entry point into the world of error collecting, proving that you don't need to be an expert to find value in your spare change. To be fair, basically, fifthly, we cannot ignore the 2008 Alaska Extra Claw quarter, a relatively newer discovery that features a die chip near the bear's claws on the reverse. This makes it look such as the grizzly bear has an extra menacing claw ready to strike. To be fair, simply put, die chips are common. However, when they occur in a spot that enhances the design or creates a new visual element, they become highly collectible. Also, the extra claw is a perfect example of this phenomenon. Simply put, collectors love animals. To be fair, also, they love errors that change the anatomy of the animals on the coins, so this bear with an extra claw has become a must-have for variety hunters. These coins are still circulating. Basically, simply put, also, you can find them if you look closely at the central claws of the bear, searching for that raised lump of metal that signifies the error. It is a treasure hunt that you can participate in every single day, every time you get change at the grocery store, every time you break a dollar, every time you do your laundry. Simply put, and finally, we have to talk about the 2000 South Carolina quarter, which is known for a variety of die cracks and strike errors. However, specifically the extra tree or split wing varieties that add value to an otherwise common coin. Honestly, the South Carolina quarter features the palmetto tree and the Carolina wren. To be fair, also, due to the intricate details of the design, the dies were prone to cracking in specific areas, creating lines that look such as extra branches or splits in the bird's wing. Honestly, these errors are subtle but significant. Also, they are part of the larger narrative of the state quarter program, which was a truly massive undertaking that produced billions of coins and inevitably thousands of errors. Honestly, if you look closely, the sheer volume of coins minted means that there are still millions of unsearched quarters out there sitting in bank vaults, resting in vending machines. Basically also hiding in your own home, just waiting to be discovered. In fact, to be fair, you need to understand that condition is king in this game. To be fair also, while a dirty circulated coin with a major error is still worth money, a pristine uncirculated example is where the life-changing money is found. This is why you should never just clean a coin. You find you could be scrubbing away thousands of dollars of value by destroying the original mint luster. You need to handle these coins by the edges, treat them such as the precious artifacts they are. Also, if you think you have found one, get it verified by a professional or send it to a grading service such as PCGS or NGC. To be fair, the 2000 for D Wisconsin Extra Leaf Quarter is the holy grail, the jackpot, the coin that can rewrite your financial destiny. Simply put, however, it is just one of many treasures hiding in the modern coin supply. In fact, imagine the regret of spending a quarter that was worth $5,000 just to buy a gumball. That is the fear that should drive you to check every single coin that passes through your hands. Simply put, to be fair, do not let these opportunities slip through your fingers. Look for the leaf, look for the spit, look for the extra re, look for the missing T, and look for the extra claw. If you look closely, these are the signs of wealth, the secret markers that separate the informed from the oblivious. In fact, you have the knowledge now, you have the power to unlock this hidden value. Honestly, also, the only thing standing between you and a potential fortune is the effort it takes to look. So what are you waiting for? Go get your coin jars, dump them out on the table. Also start hunting. Scour your collection, ask your family if they have any old rolls of quarters. Also keep your eyes peeled every time you make a cash transaction. The 2000 for D Wisconsin Extra Leaf Quarter is out there, perhaps sitting in a cash register drawer right now, waiting for you to rescue it. This is not just a hobby, it is a pursuit of wealth, a treasure hunt that is accessible to everyone regardless of age or experience. In fact, you could be the next person to make headlines with a major discovery, the next person to turn 25 cents into a down payment on a house, the next person to join the elite club of error coin finders. In fact, if you look closely, the market for these coins is hot, prices are climbing. Also, collectors are desperate for fresh inventory, which means there has never been a better time to start looking. Don't assume that all quarters are created equal, because as we have seen, a tiny leaf, a basic line, or a missing letter can make the difference between a quarter and a fortune. If you look closely, check your pockets, check your purse, check your car's center console. Simply put, in fact, if you look closely, also never ever spend a 2000 for D quarter without flipping it over and counting the leaves. The hunt is on, the stakes are astronomical. Basically, if you look closely, to be fair, also the treasure is real. Good luck, happy hunting. In fact, also may you find the Wisconsin Extra Leaf that changes your life forever. Stick around for more videos, because we are just scratching the surface of what is out there. If you look closely, also in our next video, we will be revealing even more hidden secrets that the mint doesn't want you to know about, secrets that could be worth even more than the coins we discussed today. Don't toss it aside, don't ignore the change. If you look closely, also remember that every coin tells a story. However, some coins tell a story worth thousands of dollars. Basically, the 2000 for D Wisconsin Extra Leaf Quarter is the ultimate modern rarity, a true masterpiece of error collecting. Also, it is waiting for you to find it. Honestly, so get out there, start searching. Honestly, also claim your piece of the numismatic pie before someone else does. If you look closely, this is your chance, your opportunity, your moment to strike gold in the most unexpected of places. To be fair, check yours now.